Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We're the Road to Glory podcast. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Cecilia. And in this week's episode, unfortunately, we don't have any F2, F3, or F1 Academy happening. So we had to be creative here and think, what are we gonna do? And also, we couldn't really cover any other feeder series because we are filming at kind of an odd time right now. As of recording, it's Friday. So really had to come up with something
Yeah, we had to
else.
come up with something that's a little bit different. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. It's interactive, so maybe you can comment once we reveal what we're doing. But I hope you enjoy. We had this other different video before we did our rating the feeder series liveries, and you seem to like that. So let us know if you like this.
Yeah, so basically the idea of today's episode is kind of like creating our own dream team slash predicting who will drive in the different categories. Like for one specific team, we can't obviously talk about everyone, otherwise it would be a long
No.
episode. So in the F2, F3, and F1 Academy, we'll mention some drivers who we think will be there, or at least who we hope would be like a dream team for us.
Yeah, it is quite early to already be predicting because no championships have been decided yet. But it's just kind of like our inkling on who we think is going to be moving up or who we want to.
So it's not like a real prediction because I'm sure we'll do that later in the season when we actually
Yeah.
know what seems likely with the driver market. But this is more like a dream team kind of thing. And it would probably be on the shorter side, but
Yeah.
don't you worry because next week we have a very exciting episode. Our first interview with a driver. Do you want to reveal who it is?
Oh, wait, let's drop hints during this and we'll reveal at the end so people have to stay around.
That makes sense. Also, probably some people will have seen it across our social media. So if you haven't already seen it, it's because you are missing out, actually. So go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Road to Glory podcast or pod, or just something along those lines, and also links down below.
Exactly. Should we get into it? What do you want to start with?
Yeah. That's a good question. Actually, maybe we should start from the bottom up, so F1 Academy, because obviously if we mention people in F2, maybe that would be kind of a spoiler for F3. I don't know, who we
True.
think will
Yeah.
move up, kind of thing. So now, do you want to start with your dream team in F1 Academy?
Okay. So I went with F1 Academy and I chose Prema. Don't ask me why. I was just feeling it. So I chose
Yeah.
Prema.
Also, they have been the best team so far in the championship, so great
Yeah.
choice.
I actually chose Ella Lloyd because she's in her first season at the moment. I don't see her winning the championship just with the contenders that they are. I still think she's going to be really up there, and I think she'll do another season next year and perhaps win it. So I chose Ella Lloyd. I know she's in Roden at the moment, I think, but
She is.
sometimes they like to move, so I chose her to move to Prema, with Nina Garderman. I think that's how you say it.
Okay. Exciting choice.
And then I went with Ava Dobson, who was the wild card for Miami, and I chose her to get a full-time seat.
Yeah, that's honestly a great shout, I feel because obviously, as we've mentioned before, with wildcard drivers in F1 Academy, we usually tend to see at least some of them move up to get a full-time seat the year after. But that would be a very exciting lineup if that were to happen.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it was what I was feeling in the moment, and I like all of them. Well, I like all the drivers, but I would love to see that team.
Yeah. And for my dream team, I also had to choose Prema. I know the boring choice, kind of, but again, the championship is still pretty new, and so far, Prema has been pretty dominant in the first two seasons, and they're also performing well this year so far. They're not leading this year, I don't believe, but still they are up there. and I
Yeah.
love Prema in general. So who I would want to drive for them though is the first one comes as no surprise, I'm sure, as it is Alba Larsen as the first driver. Shocking, I know. Um, but yeah, obviously she's on her first season right now, one of the youngest drivers, and I feel very confident that she'll be back for next year to challenge for the championship, hopefully. And also like a small prediction I have, like I just want to sprinkle it in, like this is not part of the prediction for who they will be driving for in terms of teams or sponsors, but I have a feeling she'll be driving for Ferrari next year. So just note that down. And you heard it
You
here
heard it
first,
here
if
first.
that comes right. Yeah, I have a feeling she will be driving for that, but for them. But anyway, Alba, one of them, would be very exciting to see her. Obviously, she would move from MP to Prema, but again, we have seen drivers change teams in the past. And then for the second seat, I was standing between two of the other rookies right now, but I ended up picking Alicia Pomorski, uh, which then obviously maybe would be a shocking change teams-wise because she's a Red Bull back driver. Again, we won't know what she'll be next year. I would assume she would stay a Red Bull back driver. And then again, like with it being so early in the predictions, we don't even know if she would actually be that. Like she could end up winning the
No.
championship this year and she wouldn't even be able
Yeah.
to stay. But I feel like Alicia is such a great driver and we sometimes forget she's a rookie. It would be awesome to see her in the second year. Next year, maybe. And then also, a prediction that goes along with yours is I am also seeing Ava Dobson in my dream team. Um, so yeah, I've made a team that's like a triple A, like Alba,
Yeah,
Alicia,
you
and Ava.
have.
Yeah, like
That's so
aesthetically very
funny.
pleasing. Yeah, but I would love to see them all on the grid, and it would be cool if they were teammates.
Definitely. I think that could be such a strong team.
Yeah, I think so too. Like having two of the best rookies so far this year together with like obviously a new rookie next year coming into this
Yeah.
series would be interesting. Also because Ava is doing GB4 this year, and we did see with Alicia Pomorski that really gained her a lot of experience getting ready to join F1 Academy and hit the ground running. So that would be cool to see if she'll get a seat there next year.
Yeah, well, we both seem quite confident that she is. So
Yeah.
let's see if we're right.
Yeah, only time will tell. Should we move on to F3 predictions, dream teams?
Okay, we can do F3. Now that I'm like looking at my predictions, because I did them yesterday, I'm like, but for F3, for my predictions, I actually went with 3 new people, which is interesting.
Okay.
I know.
Yes. Bold choice.
Yeah. I actually have not written down a team. Why did I not write down a team? I could put them anywhere though.
Yeah, sure. Like, this is your dream. You have the power here.
I do. I have the power. I'm going ART. That's
Oh,
fine though.
interesting choice. Come back for AIT.
Yeah, I've started with Freddie Slater. And I mean, we all know he is already driven. He has already performed well in F3. And I think he will definitely get a full-time seat next year. He's a bit too busy this year for a full-time seat. Man is everywhere.
Yeah.
But I definitely think he will be somewhere on the grid next year. Then my second seat is very rogue. I wanted to put a woman because we haven't had a woman in F3
No.
in a little while. And I know Abby Pulling she's only done 1 season in GP3 and she most likely she could do another one. But I was thinking, the later half of the season, she's going to perform really well. She's going to be right at the top of the championship and she's going to come to F3. That's what I think. And she's going to get sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I put
That's an
Abby
exciting
there.
one. Yeah.
I know. I really want a woman in F3 again. And I feel
Agree.
like it might be another year, but we're definitely going with the progression of what F1 Academy is doing. We're going to be getting more women F3.
Yeah.
So we're with Abby. And then for my final seat, I went with Will McIntyre, who's in his, I think, second season of GP3 at the moment. He's right now in top 10 of the standings. I think he's 7th. And I feel like, while done like 2 seasons, and he performed really well last year, and I think he'll perform well this year. I think he'll move up to F3.
Yep. That honestly sounds like a great dream team. I will also love to see a woman soon, and I was also considering choosing one of the female drivers, but I'm also like leaning towards what you were saying. But I think it might be like one more year with some of
Yeah,
the like the Abby Pullings or Doyan Pan Meyerberg, some of those drivers, Chloe Chambers, maybe even like needing another year, and then I'll think we will start to see at least a female or more females in F3 again.
definitely.
So yeah, I went with a bit of more boring dream team, but still one that I think would be great. And teams wise, I did choose Trident because obviously they have been winning the drivers' championships for a couple of years in a row now. They are doing great in the teams championship as well this year. So I was like imagining Trident
Yeah,
staying at the top. So I would like to see my dream drivers in that team. And starting off again, so obvious, but I chose Noah Stromstad to stay at Triton for a second season. Yeah, I think
I
that's
definitely see it.
likely that, yeah, because I don't think necessarily he will move up to F2. Obviously, again, we don't know who will win the F3 championship yet, so it's kind of an unknown. Technically, a lot
Yeah,
of people like Noah could still run away with the championship, but I do see it likely that he will stay for a second season to try and get the championship next year, and yeah, stay with Trident. And then for my second driver, I have also chosen Freddie Slater to move up into F3. Yay. We love Freddie being everywhere.
we
Like
do.
he's living on a plane and on a racetrack in his car half the time, like or more.
Yeah.
He's literally everywhere. He is the goat also. Like I feel like in this podcast he is like low key just the goat. For like
Oh,
his obviously his
we
performances.
need to we need to interview Freddie,
Yeah.
because like we love him here. I mean, we love everyone here,
Mm,
but we've
yeah.
really we've hyped up Freddie a lot, and we're big Freddie
Yeah.
supporters.
Yeah, so putting that on the list of like drivers we really need to interview, please. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed that will happen somewhere. But yeah, Freddie obviously performing very well in everything he's touching at the moment. Like also like recently in Spa, he like went from last to winning the race, which I still don't know how on earth that happened. But yeah, as like standing in the beginning of the season in F3, he almost won the first race he was in. So like definitely a driver to watch, and I would love to see him team up with Noah. That would be very exciting.
I agree.
And then for my final driver in that team, I went for like with Noah another returning driver, and I would like to see Ugo Chukwu making the move to Trident because
Ooh,
yeah, such a hype driver, such a talented driver, I'm sure, like kind of McLaren's prodigy. It will be
yeah,
so exciting to see like what he can do if he comes back for another season because things are just not clicking for him at the moment with Prema for whatever reason.
yeah. And he was so hyped before coming in, and I know we've mentioned this a lot, but
Yeah,
his performance has been quite shocking to me, even because I really
yeah,
thought he'd be like up there, almost winning the championship. Like I thought he'd be
yeah,
a Rafa. So I think that could be likely. I think a team move, if Prema doesn't get their act together, it could be very likely that
yeah.
he changes team.
Yeah, because this season has very much been like the downfall of Prema, which really hurts me to say, but we have literally seen them going from last year's car being one of the dominant teams all seasons, and then having this new car, not bad drivers obviously, but having this new F3 car, and they just can't get their head around it for some reason. Like they are literally dead last in the championship.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
we thought we'd bring a little bit. We love a wheel here. We love a
We
wheel.
love a
So we thought
spin
we'd
the wheel.
see what the universe is kind of vibing for the 2026 season. I almost said 2025 again. I'm living in the past.
Yeah, you're literally living in the
But
past.
yeah, Also, I'm sorry if I've left anyone out of these wheels or spelt anybody's names wrong. I did do them this morning. It is quite early, but the vibes are there. So I'm going to spin for the team that we're going to be predicting for. Let's see who we get. It was almost Campos, but it is Prema.
Oh my god, even the universe loves Prema. Like, that's so funny.
Literally. That is very. I'm wondering what. Okay, let's go to the F3 wheel and have a little spin for our first driver for the Prema 2026 seat.
Who the universe thinks will drive for Prema, like, which may be more correct than our own dream team.
We'll be getting Jared Shee.
Okay. That's a shout.
That is. I probably should have removed him, but he's still there. Whoopsie daisy. If the universe wants to pick him 3 times, the universe wants to pick him 3 times. Okay, let's go for our second.
He will definitely be there.
Who is our second? Okay. We're getting Tisana Pole in Triprizak at Prema.
Okay. The universe is like, yeah, you'll be moving up to Prema.
Exactly. And then, oh gosh, our final driver in Prema will be... It was almost Jared again.
No. I can't imagine.
It's Alessandro Giusti.
Okay. That's
Williams
interesting
back,
as well.
Moving to Prema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see him staying in F3 at least, so like I feel like I could with all drivers, I think. So maybe the universe isn't completely wrong.
So like I can see him staying.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he moved up, but again, you never know.
Yeah.
And it would be great to look back. Yeah, when we like next year see how terribly wrong both we were and the spin the wheel. That would be interesting. But yeah,
honestly, if one of us gets something right, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, actually, we just looked into the future. Like, obviously, if we get anything right. But yeah, let's move into F2 now.
Okay, so F2, I went with Roden just because I wanted to. And why not?
And I think we have like a good reason for that when you say your drivers as well. Just, I have a hunch. So it will be.
You have a hunch?
Yeah. I'm pretty
You're going to know me so well if you know what I'm going to say. But I think
so sure
that Christian Mansell
is coming. Exactly. That was also why I actually haven't put him in mind, because I was like, oh, you're going to pick him for sure, 100%.
Everybody knows I love and support Christian Mansell, and
we all
need him
do
back.
In this household. Yeah.
I need him back in this series. I need him back in F2. So, where he was originally meant to be this year, I put him in Roden. To be honest, his teammate that I put with him, this is Dream Team because, I mean, he could go to Roden. I don't know. But I put Rafa Kamara with him.
Of course, as well. On brand for you.
Exactly, it's my dream team. I can make what I want, and I want them together.
Yeah, that would be so cool to see. Also, like, with Christian Mansell, he like really deserves his time in F2, obviously because this year was meant to be his at Roden, and then for unknown reasons, unfortunately, he had to back out of it right before the season starting. So yeah, let's see if we can get him in the car soon, and at the very least next year.
Exactly. What did you pick?
Okay, first off, I feel like again, the first driver I pick for like every dream team is like so obvious who I'm gonna pick. But I'm gonna choose Gabriel Amini, who will stay for his second year in F2. Yeah, and obviously, I forgot to say what team, but I want, even though I also like have already mentioned Prema, but I'm gonna pick Prema again because I want them to finally finally succeed in like getting back to the top because they have been struggling for these past couple of years with this new F2 car and like it can't keep happening. Like
No,
at some point, surely they must crack the code to what they're doing wrong, essentially.
I definitely think so.
Yeah, and with Mini, I don't think he will win the championship this year, unfortunately, even though he was my original prediction. Yeah, I'm losing hope,
Oh
suffering from a
gosh.
fan here. Yeah, but
Yeah,
what I will say about Mini is that I do feel like next year could potentially be his year, like kind of in F3, where it was also in his second season that he put in a title fight where he obviously lost out on literally the last lap of last year's F3 race. But let's
yeah,
hope that doesn't happen in F2. I could definitely see him staying with Prema and figuring out the issues. I would love to see that.
yeah.
Yep.
I definitely
And
could
then,
see that happen.
yeah, I think that is likely, unless he like has lost hope in Prema as well, which I hope he hasn't. And then maybe he'll move teams. But anyway, for his teammate, honestly, I had to choose a Rafa Camara comeback to Prema because obviously he has been driving Triton this year, but that was his
Yeah.
first year away from Prema for a while. I want my child to come back home to Prema.
Oh, please. I would love
Yeah,
that as well.
yeah. And also like obviously we kind of expect that Rafa will is likely to win the F3 championship, so he will for sure then move up to F2. So
Yeah.
again, a very likely choice and like definitely he would be in my dream
Yeah.
team. Like it would be great to
I
see him.
I even feel like if even if he doesn't win the championship, just the performance that he's put in,
Mm.
he's gonna
Yeah.
move up. Like
Yeah,
if
there's
he
no
doesn't,
point in
I will be
staying in F3.
shocked. Exactly. He's
Yeah,
learned what he needs to learn from F3. He's performed so well. I don't think
yeah,
another season would benefit him. And I think
no.
he can move up. Like he's going to get the
Mm.
opportunities. So it just depends where.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, I feel like it will make way more sense to like move up with the performances he has put in because if he stays
Mm.
for another year, what more can he achieve? Like, t technically, obviously, he could win the championship, but still, he has performed so well. It's you kind of just what's the point in staying? That's like the same sometime with F2 drivers who like get in second in the championship in like maybe their second year. Obviously with Theo Pocher doing that, Fred Vesty doing that as well. Where I respected that Fred didn't stay on for another year because obviously he was so
Mm.
close to winning the championship. What would the point be in going for a third year? Where Theo Pocher then decided to stay for a third year, and yes, he did win the championship the year after, but it's also not seen as special when you already
Yeah.
had like seen his performances, and then like having to stay for another year just takes something away from it.
Yes, definitely. Should we see what the universe wants to do?
Yeah, what does the universe think? What is the universe's dream team for
Okay.
F2?
I'm gonna spin for team.
Yes.
Let's see who the universe, what team it wants to go
Yeah.
with today. The universe has decided on high tech, which is
Okay.
interesting.
That's not a bad choice for the universe. They are doing pretty well as long as
Yeah.
their management doesn't go to prison, like end up in jail for the whole thing going on with
Yeah.
Oliver Oakes' brother. So hopefully
Let's sort
things
that
will
out. The
be
universe
okay.
says it will be
Yeah.
fine, so I
Yeah, it'll be
trust.
fine. We trust the
Okay, we're gonna
universe.
spin for the first driver in
Yes.
high tech for the 2026 season.
Yeah. And for those who question like how we made the wheel, we just like added the F2 drivers that are likely to stay and also some of the F3 drivers that are likely to move up. We can't predict obviously if someone is gonna make a shock move up to F2 like we saw with
No,
Kimi or Joshua Dirksen. So it's just like what is most likely to be there.
exactly. The universe, this is rogue. It's thinking that Max Esterson will go to high tech.
Okay. That would be a wild move, honestly.
That would be.
Yeah.
Because he's in
He
Trident at the moment.
yeah,
Um,
he will have to put in some good performances in
he,
the rest of the season if he were to move to high tech. But
the
yeah,
universe
nothing is
knows something,
impossible.
apparently. So,
Maybe. Or maybe just likes Max Sisterson.
maybe it does.
Maybe.
The second seat at high tech will be filled by
This is,
Oh,
will
no,
it be?
Leon.
Okay, actually, maybe that could happen. It's not
That
impossible
could
moving up from
happen.
F3 to F2. I definitely
Yeah,
see him moving up to F3 regardless of where he will end up.
yeah, I agree. He'll move up to F2, but it's interesting with the high tech move. I mean, it could be
Yeah,
possible because moving, you don't necessarily have to stay with your team, especially if your team have already decided on who they want to put in. So
yeah. Yeah, also
that's what
with
the
no
universe thinks.
yeah, with Noel Dion, I don't necessarily see him staying with Prema. I don't know why. But yeah, he could make a move
Yeah,
for something like high tech. That would be interesting.
it would be.
Yeah, but I guess that was our dream teams for F2, F3, and F1 Academy. And we'll probably be wrong on everything because, again, this is
Yeah.
not like a hardcore prediction. This is
No,
just who we want to see together at the different teams.
it's just vibes at the moment, and who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe something will be right.
yeah. And like, obviously, at towards the end of the season, we will make like a real prediction to like who we think will move up the ladder to F2, F3, or like a F1 Academy.
Exactly. Yeah. For those of you who have stuck around and you're still here at the end, we will now reveal who we will be interviewing in our next episode. I don't know. Do you want to say it? Do I want to? I'm kind of nervous.
Same. Like, I don't know why we're nervous though as well, but this is like, as of recording, this is the first time that we are like saying this is actually happening.
No,
Uh,
literally, and it doesn't feel real. Like,
no, you can say it.
I can. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
get
I
the
feel like
honor.
we may have hinted this in the episode, and if obviously this is coming out at a later point,
Yeah.
you may have seen on our socials already, but we will be interviewing Ava Dobson.
I'm really too so excited. Like, this is actually happening. It's
I
so
know.
real. Like, it's not real.
And I mean, like, we're still relatively small, and we have not been around for that long. So I'm just really proud of us to like have an
Yeah.
interview, and I know it's going to go really well, and I'm so excited to get all the content out from that for you guys to see. So even now, if you have any questions for her, you will be able to pop over to our Instagram. There'll be a post there where you can leave questions in the comments, but you can even leave comments in the video here. Let us know, what do you want to know about Ava? Are there any specific questions you have for her? And we will make sure to ask her them.
Yeah, we are very much looking forward to interviewing Ava. It's gonna be great to talk to her. Very exciting, and we like clearly we have high hopes for her as well. Predicting her
We
to like be in our dream team in F1 Academy, so it'd be very cool to talk to her. And yeah, we'll make sure to like ask as many questions that you guys have for her. To like choose some of them for our interview. So like if there's anything you want to know about Ava, something you want to ask her, make sure to let us know in the comments or on Instagram. And we'll try to include as many as possible. Yeah, but it feels unreal that we are actually like this is just the beginning, guys. But we are interviewing our first driver. It's insane.
It's very exciting, and I hope you stick around for longer and see all of the other drivers that we will hopefully eventually be able to interview and get behind the scenes content with. So, thank you so much for listening to us yap. A little bit of a different episode today, but thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.
So thank you for watching and make sure, really make sure this time it's so important because the next episode that will be out is literally our interview with Ava Dobson. So put on notifications because you do not want to miss it.
No.
But that but that's it for today's episode. So bye.